Let's go and talk about while and until loops. So both of these are pretty similar, which is why we're going to cover them kind of together. So both allow a section of code to be run repetitively while or until a certain condition holds true. They also resemble analogous constructs in Pascal, such as while do and repeat until in Pascal, and the C programming language, while and do while. While and until are actually most useful when combined with other features such as arithmetic, input-output of variables, and command line processing. So while and until are best actually used when we use other constructs. So the syntax for while is pretty simple. We use our while statement here, the condition, and then we do, which is in line with while, and then we have the statements such as echo or any other command or code we want to be run, and then we finish it with done. Okay? For until, you just substitute until for while in the above example, and you have the same setup, okay? So until, we just go here, and then everything else remains the exact same. As with if, the condition is really a list of statements that are run. The exit status of the last one is used as the value of the condition. You can use a condition with the double brackets here, just as you can with the if statements. So this is saying when you run the until statement, the last value is now run and used as the new value or beginning value. The only difference between while and until is the way the condition is handled. In while, the loop executes as long as the condition is true. And until, it runs as long as the condition is false. However, the until condition is checked at the top of the loop, not at the bottom as it is analogous constructs in C and Pascal. Okay, so it's different in those, okay? So in Bash, the until condition is checked at the top of the loop. The result is that you can convert any until into a while simply by negating the condition. The only place where until might be better is something like this. So you have until, a command, do, and then your statements. Let's check out the first example here. It's just a simple until script, okay? And I have that written up in my virtual box here, so let's check it out. I named it until.sh. Okay, so you always start with your hash string here. So hashtag exclamation point bin bash. Okay, then I set a variable I equals 1, and then we have our until statement. So until, then our expression here. In this case, it's until square bracket space variable I space dash gt is greater than space the number 6 space square bracket do these things here. So we're going to have an echo welcome the variable I times, and then it's going to add 1 to the variable I. So we're using an arithmetic here. We want to add 1 to I, so we got to use double parentheses. We want to assign the output or the sum of this arithmetic back to the variable I. So we have to put the $sign here and say, hey, set that back to the new value as I. So remember, this is going to run whenever this comes out to is going to be the new starting value here. Okay. So what should happen is this is going to run 6 times, because remember, everything in Bash scripts are run line by line. So it goes through this line, this line, this line, this line. So we see on the first one, 1's not going to be greater than 6. So it's going to echo welcome 1 time. Then it's going to add 1 to it. Then it's going to start over. Then it's going to say, well, 2's not greater than 6, okay? And it's going to keep going through and through until we get to number 7. And 7 is greater than 6, so it's going to finish this. So until this becomes true, do this. Okay, so while it's false, do this. When it's true, skip this, and we're done. Let's check that out. Okay, there's 2 ways to run scripts, guys. I like to do this version. Okay. Okay, but you can also do bash, command bash, and then run a script like that. Both works. So there we go. We see, it went through that loop 6 times until it hit 7. 7 is greater than 6, so it finished that loop. Let's head to our next example here. This one is going to be a while loop. It's pretty simple. So we have our hash string. We have a variable x, which is set to 1. We have while variable x is less than 5, do echo welcome x times, and then x equals x plus 1. So basically the same as our until loop, but I wanted to show you that it kind of works the opposite way. So it's saying, while this is true, do this, whereas this one was until this is true, do this, right? So kind of the opposite there. But let's go ahead and see that in action. So I'm going to write a script. It's going to be named vim while.sh. I'm going to get rid of all this stuff here. There we go. So we're going to start with our hash playing. So hashtag or pound sign. Oops. Exclamation point slash bin slash bash. We're going to set the variable x equal to 1. We're going to say while, so we start with while. Then we set up our expression, square bracket. Variable x dash le is less than 5, square bracket. Do this, echo, welcome, variable x times. Okay. And then we're going to set a new value to the variable x. So since we're doing arithmetic here, we're going to use double parentheses, variable x plus 1. And we finish it with done. Okay. So it's going to run through this loop the first time. So while 1 is less than 5, do this. Well, 1 is less than 5, so it's going to do this. It's going to add 2 to it. Then it's going to do while 2 is less than 5, do this. And it's going to go through that all the way until 6. And it's going to say while 6 is less than this, do this. Well, 6 is not less than 5. So it's not going to do this. It's going to finish the loop. And that's what we should see here. So we're going to make it executable all plus executable to while.sh. I'm going to do the way I like to run the scripts. While.sh. There you go. Welcome 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it terminated on the 6th one because 6 is not less than 5. So guys, that is how the while and until loops are set up. Okay, they can be effective if you need something to run multiple times or until something is no longer the case. These are useful for, say, when maybe you have a file that's running and when it finishes you want it to disengage or stop. So that's when while loops or until loops can be useful. Is when you want something to run, you don't necessarily want to sit there and watch it, so you can write up a script to say until this is not running anymore, or while this is running, do this, and then when it's not, finish it. So that's kind of how this skill can be used with in actual real case scenarios.